Hey, this is Robbie from Southern California. I just had dinner and I am going to go outside and work in my garden. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of video I put together because, first of all, it was taken off of my backyard camera. And you can't blow those things up. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to put in your face what we really need that is so cheap to save our garden and to have the food that we grow for ourselves. As you can see, all the plants in the back and where I sit on top of a hill, we have all kinds of critters here. You name it, we've got it. I think the only thing we don't have are bears. We have gophers, we have tree squirrels, ground squirrels, rats, mice, weasels even. We've got skunks, possums, bobcats, even a mountain lion here and there, and of course the deer, raccoons, we've got them all. What I'm trying to say is we have a lot of critters, including insects, that can get into our containers or even in the ground. Because of the gophers and because of everything, it has worked for me to garden in totes, in other words, raised beds that I can control really good. Having these 18-gallon totes or 30-gallon, I have control of my raised bed. And I have control of the amount of soil or compost that goes in. I have control of the cost. But today I'm going to talk about pest control. Now, the few things I want you to continuously see here in this video is irrigation tubing, tool that I could not live without, tomato stakes, plant stakes, or garden stakes, whatever you want to call it, because that is something that is very helpful. Though I will say you can use just plain old sticks, or with the irrigation tubing, you can just shove that into the soil. I have done that too. I've got lots of videos on how to put it together. Sometimes I zip tie it, but I found with tomato stakes, I don't need to. So what I did now after dinner is I decided if I don't do something with my zucchini, I am going to lose it. Because if it grows out of the little tool tops I made here, the ground squirrels are going to be the ones that get to it. The rabbits can't get up on my chairs at all. In the chair garden, the rainbow garden, they don't get up there. But the ground squirrels, they are the ones that are the worst for me. They can leap and then they destroy. And they don't just eat the fruit off these plants. What they do is they eat the center of the plant. And once they do that, I could say that it's gone, though it can rejuvenate and start to grow. But by the time it grows, the season's over and I'm not going to get what I normally get. Now in these totes, I had started seeds or had some seedlings and they're starting to grow and become very successful. I had covered them with a small cover, but it's time to get them covered in a large cover to protect my plants until they're done growing. So what I'm doing here, and I came out leisurely after dinner. I love working in the evening. It's so peaceful and quiet and nice and the sun is down. I'm putting in my tomato stakes. I'm using my 1/2-inch irrigation tubing and tool and then some binder clips that you can get so cheap. You can get them at dollar stores, you can get them Walmart, Target, you name it, everybody's got it. Now the irrigation tubing has turned out to be my favorite. I came up with it years ago as I was trying so many different things that I had around here, but I wanted something that was abundant and cheap to get, and this was my answer. But when I started using it, I fell in love with it. Why? First of all, it's durable. It is designed to last for years. I mean, they guarantee it, a lot of companies, for 8 years. They can take the sun, they can take the weather, they can take everything. They're easy to work with and easy to manipulate. I have tried using old garden hoses, hula hoops, and pool noodles. But the problem with a lot of these other plastics you can buy is they weather, and sometimes they'll crack and dissolve long before your plants are gone. Now, the rubber garden hoses, they'll last a while, but who's going to be cutting up garden hoses? This stuff is easy to cut. The 1/2-inch irrigation tubing, all you need is a scissors. And if you get the really heavy duty one, they're a little stiffer. Put the tubing out in the sun and you'll be able to cut it on a nice warm day. But the regular one you get, it just works perfect anytime. Just cut it with the scissors. And on top of that, well, you know what? I wanted to get into clips, but we'll get into that in a minute. So what I do is I estimate. I go and get some irrigation tubing after I put my 4 stakes in one of these 18-gallon totes. And then I just cut out, 4 feet, whatever. There's no set amount. Then slip it over the stakes, the tomato stakes. And then all you have to do, because it's going to hold it in place, you don't have to even zip tie them in or anything. You're just going to drape tulle around it. Now, the tulle I get, which you see here, is 40 yards, 54 inches wide, but 40 yards. The secret to keep the rodents out is make sure that tulle drapes down. Don't try to fit it real tight around your plant. You want it to drape past your plant. In other words, you can see here it's below the chair arm. So if a squirrel comes over and leaps on, it's going to get the fright of its life because it's going to get caught to the tulle, nothing to, cause any damage. But it doesn't know that. It knows that its little tiny nails got stuck and it doesn't know what this is. It's a trap. Somebody's catching me, and it takes off. Sometimes if you don't clip it on, they can actually run off with your tulle. I've had that happen. That's why I get the paper binders. With those few things, and they're all so cheap, you can save your garden. Now, it looks like an advertisement here. And yes, I do put links to it. But I want to make sure you get the right items at the best cost and the ones that I buy to save money in my garden. The point is, your irrigation tubing is going to cost you 10-15 cents a foot. And if you buy a big super duper roll, I've even had it cheaper. You can get them in 500 feet. Your tulle, 40 yards, 54 inches wide, less than $10. Now, I know I found the best price, and I love the company. They send it right out. They've got all those colors. Go through and pick what you want. This is a burgundy. I just picked it up. Looks a little bright on the camera, but it's more of a darker kind of red. Paper binders, you can get that anywhere. They're like $1 to $2 a package, unless you want a whole bunch, and then you can buy a big bundle for like $10. It's cheap. And tomato stakes, well, to be honest, I used to get that at the 99-cent store. They're gone now. But if you got a Daiso, and I know very few of you do, they do sell the stakes for about $1.50 to $2 each. But I have found them online cheap. And when I find them, I put them up there so you can see them. You can go to any of the hardware stores, the garden centers, and buy them. And keep in mind, if you do end up paying a little bit more for your tomato stakes, they last for 10 years? They last a long time. The irrigation tubing, 8 years? I haven't had any break. And paper binders, they're metal. You can use clothespins if you've got. They're going to last you many, many years. And the tulle, I take that off. It generally lasts me about 2 years. But even if it didn't, with the price that it costs, it is cheap. If I didn't use all of those, I'm telling you now, I would have no garden and no food for ourselves. This has made a world of difference. I can't emphasize that enough. I'm off the ground. I don't have gophers. And with the tulle, it's keeping everything out for me. Now, I'm leaving the tops open. I'm going to let the pollinators go in. I'm not worried about the insects, but if you were, of course you can cover the top. I hand pollinate my squash. Zucchini is so important to me. It's a filler for me. I put it in my meat. You don't even know if it's there. If I'm making ground meat, it tastes great. But I'll tell you, I love zucchini, fresh off the plant, sliced up, thrown in a frying pan with a little butter and sauteed until it's caramelized. Oh, that is heaven. So I'm hoping I'm giving you ideas, because my goal in life right now is to get you to garden. And once you start gardening and you are successful, you're going to continue to garden forever. And when you're not successful and these plants get big like they are here, and I have to change it up with the tubing because I had just little flat tops, you compost them. After all, if the plant does well, then we have to accommodate the plant to keep the critters out so the food belongs to us. So I hope I gave you some ideas. Tell me your thoughts. Are you using this? Are you in love with this? Is this why you have a garden? And keep in mind, I have lots of videos up close and personal so you can see me using the irrigation tubing, the tulle, the clips, everything. And all the tips and tricks, like making clips out of the irrigation tubing. So be sure to check out all the other videos on using irrigation tubing. And remember, this stuff is so strong that you'll be able to drape flags, leftover material, old clothing, anything you need over your plants on the irrigation tubing once it's mounted like this, and you'll be able to shade them and grow in the heat of the summer. I think it's so cool that if you look to the right, you'll see the plants that are now stretching because, wow, we have room to move. And that's what they did all night. And in the morning, they look beautiful. Nobody touched them, and all that produce will belong to me. I've been harvesting a ton already, and I plan to harvest a whole lot more. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow and get what you need so you can produce food for you and your family. Bye-bye.